Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of What CD is Rob listening to now? And this time we go back to 1988 for the second Sammy Hagar fronted Van Halen album, OU812, which I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but apparently it was a play on David Lee Roth's Eat 'em and Smile album title. I don't know. For me, I prefer the David Lee Roth album. Eat 'em and Smile is a fantastic album, which we'll talk about some other time. Now we're going to talk about OU812. Again, as I said, the second album fronted by Sammy Hagar. I'm going to try and do better at not reading the notes as much, but let's see. The album kicks off with Mine All Mine, and it's both a keyboard and a guitar-driven rocker. It's got that sort of echo feel like many of the Van Halen songs. I'm not sure what the effect is, but I really like their sound. It's got a cool drum rhythm here. The bass parts are a bit low in the mix, but that starts to show itself the entire album, unfortunately. Sad, since they have one of the world's best bass players in their band. Sammy Hagar again is delivering a killer vocal performance and a most wonderful vocal melody. Sammy's always been the king at writing melodies. I love it. The song does have a sort of 80s feel to it, but you know, it was the 80s, so. But it's a great tune and a hell of a way to kick off the disc. Track 2, and the band are already delivering the goods with a wonderful melodic rocker, a song called When It's Love. Now, I know you've heard this song. It's been played everywhere. It's another one that has piano and guitar sort of playing together. And they work perfectly, delivering a fantastic part rocker, part power ballad. The vocals and the verses really don't give you much indication of where the chorus is going, which I think is really cool. I like how they did that. And again, it seems like the bass is just buried. I'm not sure if I'm even hearing a bass part or if it's just the synths playing the bass part. I'm not sure. Next up, AFU, subtitled Naturally Wired, kicks off with a very cool drum and guitar moment. Then the entire band kicks in, and I think I can hear the bass a bit before Sammy screams us in. This tune is a killer rocker and probably one of the best songs on the disc. To me, it feels like Alex has either grown since those first 6 albums, or he's finally allowed to let loose and have some fun. And this song is proof of that. Again, it's unlike anything on the David Lee Roth albums, proving that this really is a completely different band with Sammy at the front. And for me, that's a good thing. With his melodic vocals singing over some pretty heavy music, it's easy to see why this is such a great tune, and sadly another overlooked song on the disc. Eddie brings us in on Cabo Wabo, and if you know anything about Van Halen, Cabo Wabo is everywhere. I think they even have a drink or a club named after it. Sammy joins in on vocals, and there's some really cool effects on the guitar part, and I think Sammy's vocals contrasted very nicely. Once again, I can hear the bass okay when the full band kick in, but it needs to be louder. Michael Anthony is not a player you want to keep low in the mix. Now, this is a very cool, straightforward rocker with a really fantastic vocal melody and some great harmonies. Honestly, I judge many songs by the vocal performance, which is why I've always liked Sammy more. He was, like I said, he's always been a singer first and a showman afterwards. And I don't know, I've always really liked his vocals. Some really cool instrumental bits on this rather long track at just over 7 minutes, which is obviously why it's probably my favorite song on the album. Side B starts with some really cool guitar work from Eddie while the band drives the rhythm home. Again, the bass is low in the mix, and the drummer's having a great time on this song, written about a hospitalized Eddie fighting dengue fever. Let's see, this one is, of course, Source of Infection. Lyrically, there's really not much going on here, though there are plenty of vocals, and they sound great. There's just not really any writing. It's actually just a lot of Roth-style fuckery with some cool vocal harmonies in the background during the quote-unquote chorus. Honestly, it would have been better as an instrumental tune, just left alone. I think it would have been really cool, but you know, they're probably having some fun and whatnot, so you gotta forgive it, I guess, this time. Don't let it happen again. Feels So Good is a keyboard-driven power ballad. It's completely unlike anything from the Roth albums. In fact, it's a bit unlike anything from even the Hagar era, but I enjoy the song. Nothing instrumentally groundbreaking here, although the drums sound great. It's a nice little tune with some great sounding vocal melodies and a guitar solo thrown over top the keyboard part that runs the majority of the track. Definitely a vocal track, but with Sammy at the helm, I'm always going to be okay with that. Finish What You Started is the big hit from this album, the one the radio played the most. It was everywhere. I think the band played it right through the Sammy Hagar era, and I don't know if they played it in the Sharon era. I want to say they probably did. Again, I could use a little more bass in my ears, but the acoustic part seems to replace it in the mix. I'd prefer the bass, but it's not my band. I like the acoustic here, but some extra bass would have perhaps served the song better. Vocally, it's definitely a highlight on the album, especially those patented Van Halen harmonies. I guess maybe that's where we get to hear Michael Anthony. But all this begs the question, did she ever finish what she started? Probably not. Black and Blue definitely has bass guitar. It's like someone realized the knob had been turned down too far, so they brought it up a bit in the mix, which is good, because this rocker definitely needs the bass with that cool guitar lick and the melodic vocals. This song is definitely typical of a Sammy Hagar era Van Halen song. Vocal harmonies, that almost echoey drum sound, and the entire band working to serve the song in an underrated track, in my opinion. Sucker in a Three-Piece is definitely the heaviest song in the album. The guitars and drums bring us in a fast-paced hard rocker that should have been part of the set list the entire run of Sammy Hagar in the band. This song has everything you want in a Van Halen song: a killer guitar performance, a pounding rhythm section, even if the bass is, again, way too damn low, and a masterfully written vocal melody with some harmonies showing up during the chorus. This song is definitely a great one, even with a bit of Roth style fuckery in it. I don't like the Roth fuckery. I don't. Is that even a term? It has to be. The David Lee Roth style fuckery. It has to be a term. The album closed with a cover of the Little Feat tune, Apolitical Blues. Apolitical Blues. Man, I can't talk today. I must admit, I don't really know much about the Little Feat version, but the Van Halen cover is a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a bluesy piece, maybe played as proof of how versatile this band could be. It's nothing especially amazing, but it's a fun way to end the album, with its blues guitar and piano meshing nicely with the rhythm section, and a killer performance from Mr. Sammy Hagar on the vocals. As far as the sound of the album, it could definitely do with a remaster, which I hear should be coming out this year. I know they're going to do the live album first, right here, right now, I believe. And then the 4 Sammy Hagar albums are supposed to be remastered and released this year. So I look forward to that, because I hope it's true, as this album definitely suffers sonically, I think. And I hope whoever's at the helm knows how to turn the bass up, because, just like I've said, it's just way too low in the mix, and you don't want to keep Michael Anthony down. He's one of the bass guitar greats of all time. Anyhow, we're going to move on to For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Figure that acronym out, folks, and we'll see you next time. Doodles.